Well, I got these tables messy as can be, columns wide and jumbled, nothing's clear to see. I need my data clean, lined up and precise. Gonna unpivot these fields, oh baby, that's nice. You gotta unpivot, make my data sing. From those cluttered columns, let the insides ring. Transform and tidy, now it's all in use. With the Unpivot, baby, I shake off those data blues.
This is Unpivot, the show for Excel and Power BI fans and everyone who loves chatting about data. I'm Wyn Hopkins.
I'm Mark Proctor.
I'm Giles Male.
I'm Oz du Soleil.
And we are missing. We're team member down.
Outrageous.
Where's Sue?
Don't know. Probably on a run.
Tardy Sue. That's what we'll have to call her from now on.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's the forfeit?
Tardy Sue.
What do we
Tardy
collectively make the forfeit for not turning up on time?
Really
Don't
not
run
sure.
don't run a marathon for 6 months.
Tardy Sue. Wow. So you
As
got
somebody who's also not turned up on time once, I think there should be no forfeit whatsoever. It should be allowed to slide.
You get one pass.
Is that it?
I reckon. And thank you to everybody who's online, making up for Sue's absence. Thank you, everybody, for joining the chat. Welcome, Mike and Grania. And
Grania is here. All right.
yeah, I know.
Now you mentioned Tardy Sue, but there's Lonesome Sue. You know, down in Jamaica, they got lots of pretty women. Steal your money and they break your heart. Tardy Sue, she's in love with old Sam. Take him from the fire into the frying pan. On and on. Okay.
See, we don't need jingles anymore.
Yeah. Analog Oz.
Y'all know that song, right?
Nah.
I don't.
Stephen Bishop, On and On. Okay.
Sorry.
We do now. We do now.
Yes, you got to listen to it. It's a good.
So, Oz, for the uninitiated, how can anybody not know who you are? But I really think you should just do a quick demo. A quick demo.
Demo.
Yeah, a quick demo. Edit.
Right, well,
live, you say. Right.
Yeah, we're live. Wow. Okay. Oz du Soleil here. I am from Chicago. I live in Las Vegas right now. That's where I'm at. And it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm glad to be here. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Excel on Fire. I've written a couple of books with Bill Jellin. It's Guerrilla Data Analysis Volumes 2 and 3. They're really good books. You check them out. And I've got several courses on the LinkedIn library. And man, of the many thousands of courses, I've got 2 that are in the top 10.
Wow,
This is really something.
that's amazing.
But you know, I whoop Excel on folks, and I whoop it on them good. And I travel a lot. I drive a lot. I have a permanent suitcase station in the living room because a lot of times there's no point in unpacking. And then I collect kaleidoscopes.
The kaleidoscope collection.
Yep. And I made this one from scratch when I was in Japan last year.
That's crazy looking.
I cut the glass, soldered it, everything, filled the cell, and yeah, it was a pretty good experience.
That's not the one you had on the road trip we did, is it, Oz? Because you had at
one.
least one with you,
Right?
When we were together,
I had a flat one.
Okay.
That was my first one.
So Sue has been in the little waiting room area for about 2 minutes. I've been deliberately making her wait. Just to
Let her in.
Naughty timeout corner. So with great fanfare.
Hello.
Sue.
Hello. I've been
Sue
working, earning money.
Right.
You know, when you say to people, right, you've got 2 minutes, last 2 minutes, last 5 minutes, whatever, right on the dot, question comes in.
Always the way. Always the way. But welcome.
Hello.
Sue. I'd like to see
how are you?
I'm Sue Bays.
I'm fantastic. How are you, Sue Bays?
I'm very good, thank you. All the better for seeing you 4 lovely, lovely people.
Hallelujah.
I was asking Oz earlier if you two had ever met.
No, never.
No.
So
I think
there
I
you
You
go.
weren't in London. You weren't in London last year.
I was, but not for Excel, for BI, SQL Bits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not an Excel user, apparently, according to my
No,
doctor.
Well, you could have been at the event,
Yeah,
but that's all right. We'll meet one day.
we will.
Maybe you'll come to Bulgaria.
I have been to Bulgaria, see Mark Proctor. I've been to Bulgaria to an Excel conference there.
Oh, you'd went
Excel
to
Bits?
okay.
And we didn't meet there either.
That was no, that was pre-COVID. So that was
wow.
I don't know, 4 years ago,
Wow.
5 years ago. But I'm
And
not an Excel user. Mark Proctor.
So I've spent a bit of time in a brief car journey with Oz when he was in Perth.
Oh
yes.
We went
Not
to
as long
Fremantle.
as we did go to Fremantle, lovely little place. But not as long as Giles. How long were you and Giles in the car for?
Oh, like
This was the
it
Vegas
was a whole
trip?
day. It was like 10 hours in total, probably, with stops. We got up early,
in
didn't
total.
we, Oz?
Yeah.
You, me,
yeah.
Paul from Hurst, all the way from Salt Lake City to Vegas for the XL World Championship finals.
Yep.
I've got a video. I'll post a video at some stage that kind of recapped it. It was great fun. It was great.
It was. It
I
was.
just realised we're live.
We are.
I just clicked on the chat and I went, oh,
There's a lot of people making comments. Nothing.
Oh
hello,
yeah.
everyone.
Yeah. Good,
Sue is
good.
less
I
prepared
had
than
to
me.
click over there. Okay, yeah.
You
Mike
kept your
Thomas.
potty mouth in
Yes.
order to.
I will sort of apologise to the podcast folks from the off that this is just going to be chaos probably. So I'm not going to
Leo
even try
Vassic.
editing out everybody
Yeah.
talking and everything. So apologies.
Yeah, Leo Vassic is here from Arizona. We got Harry Gross,
The
Katerina,
UK gang,
Jack.
FMWC UK,
Yeah.
Jack, Harry. I think Elliot's in here too.
Jack.
Jack.
Yeah. I sang. Yeah, I did. I did sing you a song, Sue.
Did you?
Yeah, I did, but
Yeah.
we've
You have to watch
passed
the
that.
recording. Yeah,
Yeah.
moved on. And then, so let's get into a little bit of news before we and we'll sort of see where this leads. And if anybody's in the chat's got questions about things as well, please feel free to post them in there. So news updates. I've got one question for Giles.
Okay, I've got one bit of news. But
have you done your career limiting TikTok post yet?
Oh, so we did proof of concept yesterday, and the litmus test for me was I sent the proof of concept video to Miles. Miles, then my business partner Miles showed his sons, who are, young, and they loved it. So we are full steam ahead. What I think was funny apparently is funny to teenagers. So get ready, Excel world. The humble MVP is going to be on TikTok soon, and he'll never look back.
Oh dear,
mate. And that's the target. That's the target audience, yeah.
That's the target. I mean, it's TikTok. So we
future
are
financial models.
We are just in YOLO territory. No looking back. I can't wait to share it with you. Shirley, don't try and wind me up straight away. I can see that question. We all know the answer to that.
Is this Shirley's one?
Miles.
Don't everybody jump on the bandwagon putting Miles first. It's outrageous. It's Charles and Miles.
Miles and Giles.
I have one bit of news. Can I start, seeing as we're on me?
Yes, hit it.
So we successfully ran the first battle round of the UK Excel World that doesn't make sense. The Excel UK Championship on Saturday last week, which was awesome. So I think we had over 100 signups, more than 70 people live on the day competing. Brilliant performances from experienced players and new players. Couldn't be happy with it. Like, the team did an amazing job. Lots of them are in the chat. Jack, Elliot, the two Harrys, Harry Gross, Harry Watson, Johnny and Miles. So I've got to give a huge shout out to the UK team. It's a huge amount of effort to get something like that off the ground, and it was great fun.
Beautiful.
Good stuff. And also, I saw you were involved in the collegiate challenge.
Yep, the MECC. Well, that is the part of the World Championship that happens in Las Vegas every December. And they've started the online qualification rounds. And David Brown out of University of Arizona, the associate professor there, he started this, the Microsoft Excel Collegiate Challenge. And you have to be a college student in order to participate. And this weekend, they had 5 regional competitions. I drove down to the one in Flagstaff, Arizona, and we had about 40 students compete. And University of Central Florida, Bill Jellin went to that one. It was so nice to see so much participation. So I was the only MVP that went to Amherst, but it was a great time. Bill Jellin went to the one in Central Florida, and he said there was about 170 students that participated. There was University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and Brittany Deaton went to that one. And I was at Northern Arizona University, and then there was University of Technology in Sydney, and Andrew Nye and Tim Hang went to those. So it's been great to see these competitions blossom and college students embracing the Excel data and these competitions. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
that's the same.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just want a quick shout out to Talatha in Chicago. All right.
Oh, so these are all live in person. So 40 people all in a room competing at the same time.
Well, they broke it up into JV, a junior varsity, and varsity. And the varsity challenges were harder. And it looked like it was pretty evenly split in Flagstaff between junior varsity and varsity. But yes, the 2 separate rooms, and everybody was in there, and they did 4 different challenges that were each a half hour, and they weren't streamed, and there was no what is that we do, Giles?
Live stream
Commentation. Right, there was no commentators, so it was in the room with proctors. It was great.
Yeah. Very cool. All very good. And then the other one that I saw this week was Mark and your TRIMRANGE video. And the thing that stood out to me, one, that now you're a TRIMRANGE convert, but also I noticed a couple of little custom buttons on your ribbon as an Excel nerd. That was what I was drawn to. So you've got a couple of formula and auto decimal point buttons on your home ribbon.
I've got a custom add-in that saves my custom number formats. So that's on my ribbon, just hanging around all the time. Then I've got my own tab as well, where I keep my Lambda library, my Power Query custom function library. I've got my add-in that pushes things to PowerPoint. So if you want to create a presentation fast, you just select your range, click the button. It puts it the right size on your active PowerPoint, so you don't have to copy, paste, resize. You can decide if you want a link or picture or table. All of that just sits there quite nicely, hanging around, waiting for me to click the relevant buttons.
It's all about the clicks. Getting rid of those
clicks. Yeah.
And Sue, what's been happening with you?
So it's live now. I'm running a training day at SQL Bits.
Oh, excellent!
Ooh, nice.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
So yeah, it's huge. So I'm running a training day on Python and how to use it at SQL Bits, and that's on the Wednesday. Then I've got a session on the Thursday about web scraping and Beautiful Soup, which is a nice library to make it all pretty. And then I'm delving into the AI on Friday with a session, and then it's party night on Friday night. So,
what did you say? Web scraping and Beautiful Soup.
Yeah, it's a library that takes your data when you scrape it off the web and makes it pretty.
Why is it called Beautiful Soup?
Well, I don't know. Why not?
Why is it called pandas?
Yeah, just is. And I ran a marathon, ultra marathon on Sunday.
Squeeze a marathon in. That's a good measure.
Ridiculous.
And where's the SQL Bits being held this year?
London.
Or next year? No, this year. June. Okay.
In London. Yeah.
There's a couple of thousand people there last year when we met,
yeah.
Good.
So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it. And so the training days go live in 15 minutes. There's a picture of me in between Marco doing DAX and Bob Ward doing SQL. It's like, really?
Going up in the world. You won't be hanging. You've forgotten about us soon.
I won't. Never.
You will.
Yeah.
So no. I won't.
Can you get us some? Can you get us some VIP tickets? We'll do a little unpivot from SQL Bits.
You can come Saturday.
Can I? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's free Saturday. Everyone can come Saturday.
And so, what other news have people got? What else has been happening in the world? It's got to be something.
Oh, I made an action figure.
An action figure of yourself. It wouldn't be anyone else.
jumped on the trend. I've just posted it on LinkedIn. It's very
the Copilot trend.
Right? Yeah.
I've seen those.
Yeah.
If you were going to put money on what would come out of his mouth next, it wouldn't.
That's the first thing that Giles wanted. Something in the image of himself.
Mike's seen it. It's great.
I've seen it.
Good.
You've seen it. Have you been for your run, Mark?
Have I been for my run? Sue, you'll be very pleased to hear that. Originally, because I don't want you to be happy, right? So the non-goal was 6, right? So I thought I'm going to go for 7 because then it's not 6. But alas, yesterday I got caught up in some other things. So yes, I've met my target. Disappointingly, I've met my target this week.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Well done. Well done.
And Giles?
I've been running and eating well. Like, honestly, I'm a transformed human being. I'm like an actual adult in many ways now. I eat proper food. Everything is in moderation. I don't need to be doing an ultra or stuffing my face with cheesecake. I'm just in a happy medium. 40s are incredible.
Oh.
Harry Gross just mentioned. Sorry, it started off with me telling lots of stories. In the last XL World Championship battle round, there was a whole case about me. He's just I can't remember if I mentioned that before.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You mentioned
Yeah,
it.
you did.
Oh,
Did I?
yeah.
Oh, don't worry, Harry.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
He's
I mentioned
told
it
us.
before. Okay, we'll move on. We'll move on.
Oz, what's your news?
Well, in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna be driving to Dallas, Texas, because there is a collegiate esports weekend.
Whoa.
And the MECC was invited to do a challenge or participate in the esports weekend. So John Akampora and I will be commentating there in Arlington, Texas, actually, just a suburb of Dallas. So yeah, I'm going to take about a 3-day drive to get there, and yeah, looking forward to it. And I see Leo is in Las Vegas. We should get together and have a cigar before he leaves if he's got time. But that's what's happening. That's the news coming up. Collegiate weekend, more Excel competitions, huh?
It's like a full-time job for you now, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
there's so many things to get involved in with these competitions.
So much, yeah. And Grania, yep, John and Oz are back. And then Mike saw the video of me feeding the donkeys in Beatty, Nevada.
There you go. We're just leaving it at that.
What do you do to keep yourself
We're just leaving it
occupied?
there. No more information.
So on the long drives, what do you do to keep yourself occupied? I quite like podcasts. I like listening to podcasts.
Yeah, podcasts. I listened to some Unpivot podcasts while I was driving up through Nevada. I put on music sometimes, but I do have several podcasts, and I download them ahead of time so that they're on my phone in case I lose signal.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just think and appreciate that I'm not sitting in front of a computer and people aren't calling and hassling me, and I'm not checking emails and stuff. I'm just out there driving, enjoying the open road.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I did a bit of driving and our podcast popped up and I went, oh, and I was giggling away listening to it. So
but what kind of long driving do you do? Because I've heard that there's a big difference between countries.
So long drive.
Yeah,
a long drive for me is between 2 and 4 hours.
Oh, come on, Sue. Okay, but I'm gonna be respectful. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Where I live in the UK is right at the bottom of the country, so it's by the beach and everything, so it's really nice. So I had to drive somewhere and it was 2 hours, and I thought, oh.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
No, I've done 12 hours twice.
Oh.
Yeah, from Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I got to Flagstaff, Arizona, and was thinking that's where I was going to stay the night. But then I got up, I walked around, had a little bit to eat, and then I'm good for the rest of the way, and I just made it. And then one time from Ely, Nevada, I got to Winnemucca, Nevada, had a small lunch, walked around, felt fresh, boom. Straight to Portland.
Gosh.
There was back in the day, I did the Greyhound sort of across America.
Yeah.
And there was one journey from, I think it was Memphis to Chicago.
Okay.
Something like that. And I remember seeing the road sign. There's actually a road sign at one point that said something like it was over 1,000 something miles somewhere to Chicago. And like, you never want to see that on a road sign. You never want to see the 4th digit. It's just depressing. You're like, oh, I'm going to be sat here. And there's a kid sat next to me with his headphones on, like an old Walkman, which you could hear the music through the headphones back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, the little ones. And he was just doing this. And that was me for 8 hours sat next to this kid. It was just like,
Horrendous.
yeah, pretty
I
bad.
can't sit still long enough.
No, it's not good.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Cool. And the only other bit of news I saw, the techie news, just to bring a bit of techie back to it, was in the Fabric sort of big announcements recently. They said there's Copilot is now available to all.
Yeah, F2 and
Whether that's
above.
a good or a bad thing, I'm not sure. But you know, the fact that you can now have Copilot on the cheap.
Did you say you were going to do you were going to be analysing cost?
Yeah, I'll give it a go. See, because every time you ask a question, it turns that question into tokens, and those tokens essentially use up compute capacity, and the more compute capacity, you're paying for that on a daily basis. So one person writing a bunch of Copilot queries could technically use up your entire company's capacity for the day. So there's a risk there. So,
and also my understanding is that you know, it depends what part of the ecosystem you use the Copilot in will be dependent upon the amount of capacity used, which makes sense. You know, if it's a simple move this to this or translate this to this, but if you're doing something text-wise or semantic or
if you got this at the end users just asking questions, show me sales, you know, for the last 5 years for the top 3 sales agents
whose name has A in it.
It just does a massive search. So I'm still very wary of the whole Copilot stuff. I'm yet to see it really show anything that's I think is that's brilliant. I mean, keep playing.
Broader ChatGPT is. Oh, sorry, you go, Mark. Go on.
So Wyn, you were one of the first people who I thought had kind of really adopted like ChatGPT and AI in terms of search. What's your usage? Because effectively you've kind of replaced Google with ChatGPT. Is that right?
Yeah.
What's your setup? What do you use AI for, and what do you not use it for?
So ChatGPT for everything, ideas, email responses, marketing campaigns, just bouncing ideas off things, search. Every question, you know, just goes into that. So all those sorts of things, solving DAX, solving Power Query, formatting my Power Query. Just Excel formulas, writing Python in Excel because I don't know how to. Regex to write regex functions if I need to try those. So basically anything. But
can I throw an extra? I found something last night. So ChatGPT's released a new, well, to me it was new, like beta tasks mode. So I've now fed it all of my extended family's birthdays, and I've said, you need to give me a reminder a month before, 3 weeks before, 2 weeks before, and then until I tell you to stop. So it's got all my family's birthdays, and it's going to ping me a message in my individual chat channel whenever a birthday's coming up with my family. I thought that was cool.
I love sorry, go on.
And you fed that into ChatGPT?
Yeah, so it's a new beta mode. If you choose, you know, you've got like 4, 0 and all the other options. It's a new beta tasks thing. So I thought that could be quite cool. We'll see.
You know, there's a thing called a calendar, right? You just
but then you have to look at the calendar.
You don't need AI for that. You just need some actual intelligence. I mean,
I do. No, I don't. I need it to just
tell it to repeat every year. Wyn's has designed his own little GPTs, and I use your one every week for my meetup group. I get a transcript, and Wyn's got this one for blogging and everything. So I give it the transcript and say, I want a title, I want a description, I want timestamps, and I want tags. And before I've rendered it on Camtasia, it's done it. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Saves ages. all that sort of automated stuff.
No, I'm wary of this stuff because I use it to brainstorm, but I'm not going to start asking it about some tingling in my leg and then have it, say, oh, you're on the verge of having a stroke. And meanwhile, we're going to take this knowledge about you and send it off to Mark Zuckerberg and you'll get some great ads.
Tingly leg ads.
You got to be
It doesn't
careful.
give you ads though, ChatGPT. I was just thinking it doesn't.
I don't know. I don't know because they say they don't, and then some reporter will find out that they do, and then the public is not made whole. They say, oh, well, we're sorry, and we're doing the best we can.
What's that thing about if anything's free, then you're the product?
Yeah.
Well, that's dead. That is completely dead because I can't even pay my electric bill without agreeing to being surveilled and the data being checked. So that whole, if you're not paying, no, we pay and we're still abused.
Yeah, we were testing out one of the sort of note-taking apps, the AI app. And then I actually took the time to read the T's and C's, which I never do. Just go accept. But down there it goes, we may use all your data to send to any marketing company we want. We may use your data to do this. We may sell your data on to any third party of our choosing. Like, okay. Yeah. So yeah, and this is all your meeting minutes basically from your client conversations. So untick, do not install. Thank you very much. So you got to be careful with this stuff.
I tell you, it is really good. I was looking up insurance for traveling and marathons. Because going to the States, I needed to make sure I had travel, and so I fed it all the terms and conditions, and it was like, no, you're not covered. And I thought I was covered, but it's this tiny, tiny little clause. And they said, no, you're not covered. So it's brilliant.
Can I make a request? Can we do the quiz? I can't hold it in any longer. There's a quiz.
We're boring you, Giles.
All right,
I want to do the quiz.
We're going to do the quiz, and then we'll get on to question of the week as well. So,
can everybody else participate in the quiz as well? Is that the idea?
Sure can. I'm going to post in the comments. Hopefully, this will go through.
Have you been revising?
Does that little link? If it doesn't, don't worry. If it doesn't work, don't worry. If you're looking at the screen, apologies to the podcast viewers as well, listeners. I'll read out the questions so you can play along.
Do we need to do the Menti as well? I click on Menti.
Yeah,
everybody can definitely doing it, just in case there's
I'm going to share my screen
up again.
Oh, we've already got 9 players in.
Enter your name. It's defaulted to Thomas. I won't go with Thomas.
If you can't, for whatever reason, click on the link in the chat, then just log into menti.com, MENTI.com, and then the code is 6771 6862.
Is this the paid version?
No.
Do you use it for work?
I used to use it for training courses and stuff. I haven't used it for a while, actually.
No, I used to use it. I was just curious, just thinking. I
One of those novel things.
I really liked it, but I haven't used it.
Christian in the chat. Hey, Christian, thanks for joining.
Hey, Christian. Woohoo.
Okay, so we'll give it another 10 seconds. We've got 15 people in already. Somebody left. They got bored. Probably Giles.
Oh, God. No, I'm here. I'm fully committed now.
He's fired up.
Let's go. Who is the most competent? Giles. Giles is.
Okay.
Let's go.
So are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody good? Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, fastest answer gets more points as well. So you've got about 15 seconds tops. What was the maximum number of rows in an Excel worksheet in Excel 2003? Was it 65,356, 65,536, or 63,565?
That's cruel. I mean, that's just guesswork, isn't it?
Oh, a lot of people said 65,536, which was the correct answer. Okay.
Right.
There we go. Right.
Casper, the code's at the top.
Here we go. Question 2. Oh, more people are joining now. Oh, look at this.
Casper wants to go. It's at the top, Casper. 67716862.
Menti.com.
Bad start. First one wrong.
I got it wrong too.
I got it right.
Okay.
Oh, were you an Excel person?
Okay, next question. Here we go. Read the question. I'm going to read the question out. Which YouTube channel has the most subscribers out of these 3? Is it Excel on the Road by Giles Male, the other Wyn Hopkins who does baking, or the other Mark Proctor from the Ozark Christian College?
Oh.
Who's got the most subscribers out of those 3?
Oh, you are an
You're
evil
cruel.
genius,
You were seeing if anybody just half read that.
Correct.
Oh,
The other Mark Proctor from Ozark with about 8,000 subscribers. Doing all right.
Wow.
Saw my
Excellent
name
work,
voted for
everybody.
myself.
Okay. Right.
If
So
you
we go on
don't,
question
please.
3.
Thanks, Danielle.
Answer quickly. Question 3. Which Excel MVP wrote the book Excel Bible? Was it Bill Jelen? Was it Mark Proctor? Or was it John Walkenbach? Oh,
Oh, well done, Christian.
Oh, Christian, show off.
Christian saying he's got 2 correct. Well,
Oh, you got one right. Yeah.
I chose you, Mark. I chose you.
I didn't write, did it? I've never read a book in my life, let alone the entire Excel Bible. I mean, that'd be ridiculous.
yes.
I know,
so
but that's just
John
showing my
Walkenbach
confidence in you.
Sorry, Sue.
back in the
Christian, are
day.
you staying Saturday night at Bits?
This isn't
What do you think this is?
Teams chat.
Good Lord.
Turns up late. Starts having
Yeah,
personal
random
conversations.
question.
Competition mode here.
All right, come on, next question. All right, here we go. How many videos does Excel on Fire have on YouTube? Is it 234 videos, 432 videos, or 324 videos?
Be embarrassing if you got this wrong, Oz.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
You didn't know.
Is
Oh, I got it right.
Oh,
324 videos.
I got it wrong.
Oh, see, I
Right.
thought it was higher, Oz.
Oz, did you get it right?
Good.
I haven't logged in.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the entertainment.
He's not putting his personal details in.
Right. I didn't know we were able to play, but okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's all right.
Right, you
It's
can
all
play
right.
along live on the screen.
All right.
Next,
So
next question. Next question.
next question.
Okay, here we go.
The
What have we got?
question
How
is-
many books has Bill Jelen authored according to his LinkedIn profile? Is it 69
Okay.
books,
I know
39
this.
books, or
I know this.
109 books?
I'm going
Sarah, I am
How many
too.
books
I
has
think
Bill
I've got one
Jelen
right.
authored? Great, everyone's got their answers in.
Oh, give over.
Oh,
69 books. That was a bit of a separator, I think, on the leaderboard. Might have a little quiz leaderboard. Here we go. Who's at the top? Where
How
are
am I
we?
third?
Hold on. Where
Why-
are we?
Mars, you kid.
The unhumble.
oh,
no,
Jack,
Jack's at the
well
top.
done. You're
Oh.
third.
The
not
unhumble
even in the
MVP. Okay, so we're halfway there. A few more questions. Let's go. Okay.
Jack.
Okay, we've got 5 more questions. Here we go. Ooh, all correct answers. What's
Score,
Sue's
Jack.
personal
Oh.
best in the marathon?
Oh,
Is it 3
Oh,
minutes
come on.
51 and 30 seconds?
Win.
3 hours, sorry, 51. Is it 3 hours 49 and 30 seconds? And is it 3 hours 59 and
This is
3
wrong.
seconds?
just give us an outlier at least.
Giles, there is.
To be fair, there is.
Yeah.
3:49:30. Hope that unless you beat that in your last marathon, Sue. But that was what
No,
you
no.
said it was in the Napa Valley Marathon.
Napa
Yeah,
Valley,
listen.
3:49:30.
I was listening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, next question. Here we go.
Okay.
Quick quiz. Let's go. Which is better?
Oh,
Uh,
oh God, what's it going to be?
VLOOKUP or index
come
match?
on. If anybody puts VLOOKUP, can you kick them out the screen.
I did.
This is fishing for an Oz response.
You do?
I know.
I'm just hooking him.
I
I'm
know.
hooking him. I'm hooking Oz here.
No, see, and then, boy.
Oz is a good
That's cruel. That's just baiting somebody.
It's me.
Sorry, Oz.
You're not sorry.
No.
You think you're funny. Don Rickles is here hosting the podcast. No,
We buried the hatchet. X lookup wins.
yes, that's what we did, and you're trying to dig it up.
Digging up
And
the
start
whole
some mess.
Bible.
Look at this.
4 a.m. in the morning. Be nice, Wyn.
Yeah, I think I may have inspired Oz's famous pitchfork video back in the day.
Oh yeah, you remember that was a
Which
good
is an
one.
awesome video. Definitely check out that one if you ever have a chance. Okay, couple of questions left.
Oh,
Okay.
Here we go. In US dollars, excluding tariffs, how much is a pro license per month?
oh.
Just throws it all sort of in.
Excluding tariffs.
Not feeling confident. Oh, what a guess! Come
Just
on,
gone up. 1st of April went up to $14 US a month. Okay, so very good, everybody. Used to be $10. Those of you who guessed 10. All right, here we go. 2 more questions left.
Oh
Getting
dear.
serious. Getting really serious now.
In the world of Fabric and Power BI, what does UDF stand for?
Oh,
User defined function, user data function, or both? Oz has just left in frustration.
I don't know.
Looking around here, clip me around the head.
I bet it's both.
Oh, I got it wrong.
Mm.
Both.
Yeah, they just announced user data functions in Fabric and user defined functions in DAX. So well done, Microsoft, for naming stuff. All right, and then
I agree with Amber Johnson. This is too soon.
too soon for that joke, Amber. Yeah, What cries in USD? Too soon. Yeah, thanks, Amber. You're probably right. Bit early for that joke. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Leaderboard, and then we'll have one more question. Oh no, we've got
One more question.
Two more questions. And
Oh dear.
Decider.
The question is.
Another question. What name can't be used for an Excel sheet? Is it the word sheet, the word Excel, or the word history? You cannot name a sheet in Excel.
Nailed that in a split second because for some reason I know this answer. Yeah. Don't know why.
Let's see.
It is history.
Well, people say history. You can't name an Excel tab history. Okay.
Oh, I got one right.
Well then. All right, we're just going to have a final check-in before a final question, just in case there's a tiebreaker needed. Okay. So here we go. Where are we with one question left? What have we got? Who's in the lead? Ronald. It's very close. It could come down to the last question.
The unhumble MVP.
That's me.
It's you.
Is Ronald Christian? Jack, what's going on? Oh, well, Miles and
one
Giles.
last question. Here we go. Oops, sorry, I've just deleted someone, I think. One more. Here we go. Final question.
Miles and Giles.
Final question.
I'm going to win.
Here we go. Which is not an option in the equals translate function in Excel? Is it Welsh, Esperanto, or Klingon?
I went for speed and went Welsh, which I now feel was the worst answer possible.
Not an option in equals translate. Is it Welsh,
Welsh,
Esperanto, or
I bet
Klingon?
it's got Klingon. I think that's
It's got Klingon.
And 3 people got it right. Esperanto is not included, but Welsh and Klingon. Somebody's taken the time to put that in there for Microsoft. Just to get rid of merge cells. Thank you. Okay.
Right. Christian, you're Ronald, aren't you?
I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Final tally. How did we get on?
I think Ronald's got it.
You got an extra 940.
Oh. What does that? Hang on. What? Okay.
Yes, well
Oh,
done.
I was second.
Wow.
So Ronald is Christian.
Well done, Christian.
Well done, Christian.
Well
Strong
done,
start.
Christian.
Sort of like I am Spartacus. I am one.
Yeah.
Is there a prize for
Okay.
second place? I think there should be.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's
Were
first
you the
loser.
unhumble MVP?
I am the unhumble MVP.
You won the pleasure of beating Giles, Christian. And when
I
you
deleted
Miles is here, when you
I did
deleted
delete
him.
Miles by mistake.
Hey,
Sorry,
Miles.
Miles. I didn't realize you could delete somebody. I just sort of hovered my mouse over and there you go. It wouldn't be a podcast without one sort of technical error.
I'd have known. I'd have deleted Christian. Ronald would have gone.
Yeah, we could have just fixed it. Horribly. Apologies.
What does he win? He's asked. What does he win?
He wins.
Jack, you did
dying
so well. Who will I replace next podcast?
You learn a spelling course, Christian, on Udemy.
Oh, Danielle joined in too. This is lovely.
Cool. All right, I think it's time. And give me a second while I find the music. Talk amongst yourselves.
Question of the week. We're doing well. 43 minutes. I think this is our latest.
Very
Is
good.
that Christian of the week? We can do. Imagine I had that. Imagine I had
Christian
that
of the
lined
week.
up.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
That was good.
Here we go.
It's the question, it's the question, it's the question of the week. It's the question,
Can't hear
it's the
anything.
question,
Can you hear it?
it's the question of the week.
Oh, can you?
Cool. All right. So the question: what drives us to do things differently to the way we've done it before? Are there some tipping points? Do we have some examples of where we've sort of, pushed our boundaries? On the flip side, what keeps you in your comfort zone? What do what do you still do that you maybe think you should do a different way? But what pushes us to not just carry on as we are? I think special guest Oz, I'm going to start with you if that's okay. Do you want to kick us off with some
I want
thoughts?
to say hello to Robert Hind. He's a memorable guy. I was glad to meet him in Perth. And so what forces me to expand? I am driven by death.
Ooh.
Just
Good
the
turn.
reality that is going to be over one day. And people close to me who've died early or even incapacitated in some way, like one friend who's losing his eyesight and can't drive anymore. I got to get my ass out there and drive. I love driving, and I hope I never face the day when my eyes are going so bad that I can't drive anymore. So I'm doing it while I can. And when I left Chicago to move to Portland, I just had to face that I was no longer happy in Chicago, and I have no kids, no spouse. I was freelancing, so I had choices. And I can paint my life to look however the hell I want it to look. And I started thinking, what do I want? And why do I want to leave Chicago? And Portland was perfect. But I had to get out there and do it. And not get like my father, who was miserable and just said, never mind, and just laid down and died at 50 years old. So that really drives me. And
So Oz, was there a sort of, because quite often these decisions aren't like 1 second you suddenly go, right, I'm going, the next day you got it. It can be a slow sort of something chipping away at you, pushing you, sort of driving you.
Yes. Because I talked about moving for 5 years.
Right.
And then got to a place of I have made no plans. I've taken no steps toward moving, and people are starting to not want to hear me talking about I'm moving to Portland. So I had to tell myself the truth, just me telling me the truth, that it's time to either start planning to move or shut up talking about moving and don't move. And so that was the afternoon when I made a map from Chicago and the stops that I wanted to make along the way to Portland, and put that up on the wall by my desk. And I pulled out this trunk and started throwing stuff away. And that was purely my gesture to say that I am moving. And then things started to fall into place. But yeah, things like that, no, they don't happen in an instant. But then when it was time to get in the car and drive, I had never driven like that before. I had no idea how I would feel or anything. And when I got to Iowa, I saw this different type of gas pump. Instead of just regular gas and diesel, there was this other kind of gas that might be corn-based.
Okay.
What the hell? What did I do? I don't want to put the wrong gas in my car and mess it up. So I called a friend back in Chicago. He said, oh, yeah, he knew exactly what I was talking about, and he told me what I needed to do. But sometimes there is just throwing yourself in and having some naivete and faith. Yeah, there was no thinking about getting in the car and planning and talking about, I'm going to get in the car. I'm going to get in the car this time. No, it's this time. Like I've told my roommate, this is the day I'm leaving, and I paid her up to that point, and it was time to get in the car and go.
Can be a case of giving yourself no out, just tell somebody it's happening on this day, or do something, and then you're committed, sort of thing.
Yep.
Other thoughts from other people in terms of anybody else want to chip in next?
Well, I love that answer. It's the way I try to live my life and make decisions, is aware that you only come once, and that this is an egg timer, isn't it? There's time. You only have so much amount of time. There's an egg timer ticking away, and we're privileged and blessed and so lucky to have these bodies and these experience. So it's you just got to live it and you've got to live and enjoy to the best of your ability. One thing one of my friends said to me, he said, I was debating about, this was Munich, Giles, running Munich half or Munich marathon, and one of my friends said to me, if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. And you got to just, it's no second chances, you just got to go for it and live.
That's why we got on so well when we first met.
We did, didn't we? We met, that was it.
Can I add to that?
Good.
Really quickly. So yeah, and weirdly, like Oz, you and I, I'm sure we have very different lives, but actually in terms of like responsibilities, quite deliberately for me, I'm similar to you. I don't have any kids. I don't have a partner. I don't see that changing, quite consciously and deliberately, because kind of positively selfish in my outlook on things. One thing Miles and I agreed a few years ago, business-wise, was we want to do things that we feel passionate about now. We're not prepared to wait 20 years to maybe enjoy a nice retirement. So that's quite often where all of our ideas come from about how we spend our time. Like, luckily, we love Excel. We love talking to people about Excel. And then around that, the thing that drives us is, do we want to do it? It's a little bit of a privilege to be able to do that. I do appreciate it sometimes, but yeah, I think it's all the same thing, isn't it? Very conscious. You get one shot at this. You're very lucky to wake up any day and be healthy, have all your limbs working as you want them to.
Right.
to be, you know, fully mentally active. So yeah, that's kind of what drives me.
But you know, I think that women have to think about this a different way, because at my age, I have dealt with like dated women or had friends who are going through menopause and they haven't had any kids. There was one woman I dated very briefly. She wanted to get pregnant because she was full of regrets about how much she put into her career in her early years, and now in her early 40s, she's like, the window is about to start coming down. But that wasn't me. No. Because
No menopause for you, Oz.
Right, exactly. I said nope. I unchecked that box. I disabled it. But you know, go ahead.
There's a couple of drivers, right? There's that, and one of my favorite phrases or sayings from this film called Blue Juice, which is a niche little surf movie from back in the day, and the sort of little phrase was "one life, no fear" throughout the whole film, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And that was like just inspired me, and it was my little sort of catchphrase for a while. But there's that thing of, you know, doing those things you really want to do because life's short. But then there's also pushing yourself to do things you don't want to do because you think you should do them, or they'll lead to something better. So there's that sort of curiosity about something, or that, you know, what's again, I'll hand over to Mark as well because he hasn't sort of said anything yet, but what's sort of driving you to go, you know, even though I'm happy, I got all my limbs, I'm all, you know, get up every morning, everything's great. What makes you go and do something else, or change completely, or do something different? So what drives you to keep getting better, improving yourself, whatever? Reinvention. Yeah.
So you're showing the Menti screen again.
All right, Mark, step forward.
So there's a quote I like, which I'm sure I've said it on the podcast before, and I think it's a comedian or something, I don't know, but the line was effectively, was that we all live lives of quiet desperation, working jobs we hate to buy things we don't need to impress people we don't like. And when I first heard that, I was like, that was, you know, that kind of resonated with me. And so a lot of the things that, as soon as you go, well, I don't need to impress people I don't like, and as soon as you start to strip away those things back, you get to the point that you can almost design the life that you want, and therefore you can decide where you want to go, because suddenly you're not tied by the fact that you have to impress people. And that's quite a big challenge when you go from, you know, when you go from, hey, I'm in employment, to now I'm setting up on my own and I'm teaching people Excel. It's kind of, you know, people look at you like you've gone out. Like, why would you do that? You have a perfectly stable job, but equally you've got the opportunity to shape the life that you want. And to be honest, it might crash and burn, and you have to kind of take that risk that, yeah, it might crash and burn, but it's there's that thing around, if you try and think about it, or if you try and plan it, then there's a good chance that you'll never even get there. So sometimes you've just got to take the punt. You've just got to go for it and decide do you have the skills to solve the problems as they come along? And you can either say, yes, I think I've got the skills that whatever problems come along, I think I can deal with it. Or you can say, no, it's too much stress. And I think as you go through that, if I'm just going to take the punt, you've got to be happy with the fact that you will be imperfect at everything, and you'll be imperfect. You know, I'm sure all of us can look back at our previous work, previous YouTube videos, previous blog posts, and we put our head in our hands and go, what were we doing? And I just hope that in 12 months' time, I'll look back at those same things today and I'll be like, that was utter garbage. Because that's growth, isn't it? And and it happens steadily, and it happens as progress. But you've got to be bad before you can be good, and you might not even get to good, and you've just got to say, I'm fine with that, and I've just got to keep going. And in terms of kind of what drove me is that I've shared this before. So I had a job where I worked a lot of hours, and I was missing out on seeing my kids growing up. eventually I thought, Excel's my way out of this. I need to learn how to automate my job as much as possible. Then once I got to a reasonable point that I'd saved enough hours, I'm like, hey, I'm going to set up a website to try and teach other people how to do these things. And then everything's kind of grown from there. And you get comments on your YouTube videos, and you get comments on, other places about why would, don't do it this way, do it that way. And ultimately you think, yeah, in this one instance, they're right. But you've got to think about your entire pattern, what you're trying to do. If I'm trying to remove copy and paste from everything, because I deem that that's something that just soaks up a whole load of wasted time, then what decisions am I going to make? So when someone says, oh, it's much easier just to do this, it's like, yeah, it might be, but in 4 steps time, you got to copy and paste. So all of those things end up driving you to, you get principles of, I need to eliminate copy and paste as much as possible. I need to eliminate these things and these things. So therefore it drives you to then create the content and and to keep learning more and more things, so that you can keep cutting out more and more of those elements, so that over time you can look back and go, you know what, a year ago I knew nothing, and hopefully in a year's time I'll look back and think I knew nothing then as well.
Definitely. It's for me as well. It's like there's a couple of motivational things in here, and that's there's frustration and happiness with something is a motivator for making a change. Very quick side story. It's inspired by Oz. So I was doing Camtasia editing on YouTube for a year and a half, and it was just taking forever. And then I got to a certain point where I thought there's got to be an easier way of doing this. So I messaged Oz, and he went, oh yeah, you just do that and use the custom option, and then it just moves the picture wherever you want. Because I was doing manual zoom ins and manual zoom outs. So it took a year of frustration before I thought, right, I'm now motivated enough to try and reach out, get some help, make some change. And then it's just saved me hours and hours. And that's the same thing with lots of learning things and developing yourself in that way. And then on the flip side, there's these sort of positive things like having a purpose, having goals, improving your health, improving your wealth potentially, but sort of also that peer group and following what other people are doing and want to be part of the groups. You want to keep up and you want to improve yourself to stay up with whether it's runners or whether it's financial modelers or other Excel folks or whatever, YouTubers, that sort of competition. There's those elements that sort of drive me to do stuff as well.
So when you had that frustration with Camtasia, why didn't you just say, to hell with all of this? It's too hard. It's taking too much time. Never mind.
Excellent question. What is that trigger? I guess in having enough value and enjoyment in the end result that I was willing to put up with it. And I didn't know a better way. It's like the people who show Power Query after 10 years later. They've been doing it. They don't like doing it, but it gets their job done. They're doing stuff.
Yeah.
And then they maybe didn't even know to ask that it could be done in a better way. And then when you show them, it's just like, my God, why didn't I do this 10 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And curiosity, I like what Katerina is saying. Curiosity plays a part in this as well. Is what's out there, and I think that's part of how I approach road trips. So I do it with no agenda, very loose timelines, so that I can meander and explore and stop along the roadside and look at donkeys and lizards and stuff that I see along the way and just absorb it all. And I think the curiosity has helped me with Excel and continuing to expand and really embracing Power Query. But then there's also me telling the truth to myself that I am not interested in Python. I don't like the mindset of coding. I've done a lot of coding and I hate it. And I'm not doing anymore.
Yeah. I think it's a good point. Finding out something you just don't like. And even though you think maybe you should be doing that or you should know it, just going, I'm just going to specialize in this or that. And there's too much for us to all to sort of follow along. And there's that sort of no regret, life's too short sort of attitude as well.
Yep.
That's what drove me to come to Australia, really, was just like, we were in a situation where we could. It's like, we'll go for a year. What's the worst that can happen? And then we've been here for 19 years now. So
Wow.
things.
You never know who you're going to meet as well. That's the thing I always think when you step into something that is unknown, or it really is a little bit out of your comfort zone. You just never know who you're going to meet. But I tend to find that you kind of start to gravitate towards other people that maybe are a little bit similar. It always happens. You just find each other. It's a bit cliched, but definitely found that, like with the XL World Championship stuff, just getting involved. Find other people like you, which is great.
One thing, I look at other people's lives, and I've seen too many people spending money on divorce lawyers and custody battles, and suddenly the person you loved, and now they're just an old witch. And it's just, that scares the hell out of me. And then also to think about, there's this other person with an esophagus and knees and a past and parents and dreams. And how am I supposed to legally tether myself to such an entity? It's just bizarre. But some people do it. And then there's the issue too of telling myself the truth. Am I just bitter, or is this sour grapes? No. And I ask myself this stuff, and I say, you know what? What am I going to do with a whole person? That is just strange.
Yeah, I totally get you, Oz. I mean, a dog's hard enough. I've got a dog. That's enough. But a dog I can put in a cage. If it annoys me, put it in a cage. It loves it. Loves the cage. That wasn't as controversial as it sounded. It's fine.
It does sound it, though. Need to go in a cage.
Loves this. What's it called? Crate.
Crate. That's the dog term for a cage.
The dog term for a cage. Yeah. Great comment, Wyn.
I think what keeps you going is I'm just bloody minded. I don't like being beaten, and if I'm coding or if I'm doing something and I can't get it to work, I'm relentless at just doing it until it works. So I think that's what drives you as well, is the fact you don't want to let it beat you. That's me. That
competition drives you.
So, no, you're not. I'm not. I've got to be able to do this.
How did you? So starting marathon running, did it just start off with a little jog around the block, or did you start with the idea of running marathons?
No, I've always run for 20 odd years, and just because I love it. You go outside. It's Harry mentioned about focus. You're away from your phone. You might listen to things. People can't talk to you. I had 3 small kids. It was escapism, nature, life. So I've always run. But a couple of years ago, things changed for me, and I thought, what have I not achieved? What do I want to achieve? And because I've always run, I wanted to run a marathon. It's like I used to do jiu-jitsu. You can't stop until you get your black belt. It's just one of those things. So
you got a black belt?
Yeah.
Oh,
there we go.
Be nicer to you when we're together. Blimey.
It's just, if I do things, I like to do it. I like to achieve. So and it's really funny. Someone I was talking to this week, he just said, "Who knew? Who knew you could do that? You don't know what you can do. Not just marathon running, but it's that consistency and." I think I can't remember. Someone put it in the chat just now about that mastery, and it's turning up day after day, and it's performance, and But for me, yes, obviously, I love running marathons because it's not just the physical endurance; it's the mental endurance, and it's how you train your brain to be able to do it, and There's lots of other things that go, but it's your passion, whether it's driving like Oz, seeing the country and seeing. I mean, your whole face lit up then, Oz, when you talked about your first adventure and you saw the gas pump that you'd never seen. There's this real light that came out of your face of pure enjoyment, and it's finding that thing that does it for you. Yes. Whatever it is, as long as it's legal-ish, then it's living your life so that you can enjoy those passionate moments of the things that matter to you, and not judging other people if their things aren't the same.
Exactly. And I feel like that's critical, is to respect people who aren't up for adventure and change and mystery. I've met people who are really smart, and they will not go an entrepreneur route. They don't want to hunt down clients who aren't paying and specking out projects and stuff. That's a whole skill that they've made it clear that they do not want. And hey, there you go.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between doing or pushing yourself to do something you don't want to do,
yes,
end result, versus pushing yourself to do something you're scared of what might happen if it goes wrong. Yeah. You'd be happy to do it if it was guaranteed to go right.
Well, no.
Oh, okay.
Part of it is that if you're really good at something, that changes as well. That's a huge level of change. And so it's not just if it goes wrong, but if it goes right, it's change. If it goes really well, then you're taking the next step, and which can be equally challenging. And people change around you. If you're, I mean, I don't know if any of you have found that, but as you become successful in different things, it has an impact upon the people that are around you, and some people are pleased for you and some people not so. So that can have an impact.
Yeah.
There was a book.
Yeah.
So there was a book. I didn't read it, but the title, I liked the title, and the title kind of stuck with me. So it was the title was Ready, Fire, Aim, which is effectively like you just got to do something and keep doing that thing, and then over time you can redirect to wherever you need to be. So even if you start out on the wrong path, that's fine. You just got to keep doing and keep going. You might say, if I was Sue, I might go, I'd really like to start running marathons, and then I get to a certain distance, and I'm like, this isn't for me, and that's fine. You can then direct your path to somewhere else. But equally, you've still got to fire. You've got to do something, and coming back to Sue's grizzly reference, if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. Which if you're going to do something, then do it, right? Even if it turns out not to be the thing, it wasn't as great as you thought it was going to be. That's fine. You've learned a lesson.
Yeah.
Be a grizzly somewhere else. But you've got to take action and purposefully take action, because it's too easy to just sit back and just to sit there and let things almost happen to you. And people who know me will tell me that I'm grumpy. I'm not the most positive person in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? I'm fine with that. But equally, when it comes to doing things I want to do, I'm going to take action, and I'm going to think about what can I do that might be different. How can I change things? And I'm going to go for it. I might be grumpy about it. I might complain about it. But at the end of the day, I might just be successful.
Yeah, you are really grumpy though, all the time.
You're not grumpy.
Camera, Mark is like a different person. He's so grumpy. God, all the time.
He's a panda bear.
I want to be a grizzly.
Giles is a panda bear.
Harry Gross, by the way, who's been in the chat a lot. Harry is a literal genius. So he's one of the best case authors for the Excel World Championships. The level of creativity that comes from his brain is outrageous. But the slight challenge is that he's so clever that his version of an easy case to me is like I tear my hair out for a week trying to answer level 3 out of 7. He's just outrageous. So big shout out to Harry, who likes ice
Well,
skating.
Harry,
as well.
in his creativity, has wondered which of the 7 dwarves we might be. If Mark's the grumpy one,
I'm grumpy.
Oh God,
I'm glad to see Sue Mormon here.
yeah.
I think I might be sneezy. I have a weird thing when I sneeze after I'm full.
Sneezy.
So,
Do you?
yeah, it's
I
bizarre.
sneezed the other day. Did we get chocolate cake? And I sneezed, and then I was with my sister, and she sneezed as well. My brother-in-law. Is that a family thing?
But you know, something. When I was thinking about some of these questions, I thought a lot about risk and our relationships to risk. And when I was in grad school, we talked about how criminals have a risk lovingness that the rest of the populace doesn't have, where they can think through how they're going to commit some crime and know what the consequences are and go anyway. And my professor was making a point that a lot of prison system mechanisms don't work because it's made by people who are risk averse, people who can think 10 years into the future about, I'm going to do all of these steps to get a law degree, and then I'm going to go into whatever, and they think further ahead. So now you're talking about delayed gratification, which a lot of criminals don't have. And so it's important, I think, when we think about risk, where are we on a spectrum about being comfortable with risk or being averse to risk? And I don't think that there is much in terms of learning to be make a drastic change in where you are in the spectrum.
You've got to push yourself to be more uncomfortable the more risk averse you are, because the criminals won't, think twice about it. You might be willing to take the risk, but you've really got to push yourself into an uncomfortable place sometimes. Now, I've had to make a few decisions over the years, nothing massively major, but a few. And it was just like, I shouldn't, should I, that sort of back and forth for weeks and weeks about whether you should make the decision, where you shouldn't do it. And ultimately, each time it's worked out well.
Okay.
But very uncomfortable. I'm pretty risk averse, I would say, as a general level. But yeah.
I did
go ahead.
Where someone said that, if you feel scared about something you want to do, then just do it scared. The whole point is because we all feel fear, and that's just our fight or flight. The amygdala in your brain that just goes, this isn't going to work out well. So therefore, you just go I'm scared about doing this, so just do it scared.
So many of us are from a finance background. Nobody does finance who's going, yes, I'm living on the edge here. I've got a real risky, I'm an uber risky taker person. It just doesn't happen, So I reckon
you see, Miles is. I used to be risk adverse, and then I went into business with a humble MVP.
Miles is my barometer. Like if I have a weird idea and I share it with Miles, if it's genuinely bad and I'm just blind to it, he's like, no. If it gets past Miles, we're okay.
Yeah.
But let's not romanticize this. There was one time I was looking to move to New York City. I was in Chicago, and somebody told me that there was an apartment that nobody's using, and if I needed it for a few weeks, just go. Oh my gosh. Okay, just outside of Manhattan in Maplewood, New Jersey. Yeah. I put my stuff in storage. I got on a train and went, and the place was a dump. with literal garbage all over the floor and dead roaches and a filthy bathtub and a refrigerator that was growing mold. But there I was, and that's what I had. It was rough. And so a lot of times we do take risks and they don't pan out. Let's not sugarcoat that. Things go wrong.
As I say, most businesses fail.
Yeah, what did you do about it though, Oz? I think it's unrealistic to expect everything to be perfect. But I think what defines you and drives you is how you respond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the quote, to quote the fabulous philosopher Rocky Balboa. It's not about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you get hit and get back up.
Is Rocky Irish?
Harry just said that in the chat. It's about getting back up afterwards. It is Harry in learning.
But I have not liked platitudes. I don't like these kind of cutesy sayings because they seem to that make everything nice. When you have a refrigerator that's growing mold, there is no platitude that's going to fix that. There is, goddamn it, this sucks. And I've rode a train all the way halfway across the country for this. I don't want to hear platitudes. I got to figure out how I'm going to get out of this. And so that was a time when, when the Twin Towers came down September 11th, the first thing I thought about was I was in the basement of one of those towers when I called my mother and said that at like 35 years old, I need to come back and live with my mother because nothing is working. And she and I had to share a bedroom for a while until I did finally get myself together and moved back to Chicago.
It's all those sliding door moments, right? That you can look at as well in your life, which you didn't have any choice over.
Yeah.
But Oz is right. It is easy to romanticize. We can say, we can take risks. It's easy to talk about the risks that you took in hindsight that paid off. But equally, we're probably all avoiding a whole load of risk ourselves right now by the actions that we take, just by insuring our houses and all those other things. While I think it might be a legal requirement in the UK, although all those things, we're equally still in some comfort zones that we don't want to take the risk on. Sure. Or maybe we just because no one's going to say that if you could, how's your life? No one's going to say it's perfect, right? So therefore, there's always more things we could do or more risks we could take, but there's always a internal barometer that decides that some risks are not worth taking.
Yeah, like my risk to do my Rocky Balboa impression, and now I'm getting grief in the chat from Shirley saying that was terrible.
But I think but you can choose, can't you? You can say, I think life is full of things that happen, and you can use that to frame you. And you might think, well, actually, that was a risk, and I want to do, I'm not sure I want to take that risk yet. And so you can, reflect. So that's the yoga in me. Reflect. Yeah. It's all part of your journey, which takes you along your pathway.
It is indeed.
Next time someone offers you a flat for free, pictures. What's it like? Where is it? Yeah. Do I need to bring bleach?
Right. Yep.
Bleach and some rubber gloves. If I do, then I'm not coming.
There you go. Is that a good time to wrap up?
Is it?
I think that's our secret. That's our secret word. Whenever Shu says rubber gloves, it means we have to end the podcast. A safe word.
Is that our safe word, Wyn? Is that our
rubber
safe
gloves.
word?
Sometimes late when things are real and people share the gift of gab between themselves, right? See, we've been sharing the gift of gab with everybody.
Can you carry on singing just till the chorus? Because we might know the song, Oz, if you get to the chorus.
Oz
What did you
never
say the
did give nothing to the Tin Man that he didn't already have. You don't know that one?
Keep going, keep going.
Never
This is how
was
we're
the
going out.
reason for the evening or the Tropic of Sir Galahad. So please believe in me when I say I'm spinning round, 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 round. Oh, going down, 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 down. You don't know that song?
You at the chorus, yeah?
America.
We've got the outro for the podcast anyway. Thanks, Oz.
DJ Fire.
Can we not all go out singing one we know, like working 9 to 5?
Oh my gosh.
No?
Oh, what are y'all doing?
Right, Oz, thank you very much, sir. Are you going to bed now or getting up?
I don't know. I'm gonna figure that out. That's it. That's how I do my road trips. I go to bed in a hotel and figure where am I going tomorrow. I know I'll figure that out tomorrow.
He's the Jack Reacher of the Excel
He
room.
is. I was just thinking that way.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay, I've heard of Jack Reacher.
Lee
You
Child
haven't
character
heard of Jack Reacher?
in the novels and the new TV show.
Yeah, the new TV show is
second
good.
season.
Like
I tell you though, I'm living a blessed life, and I appreciate being here with you all and being able to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm getting ready for this drive to Dallas, Texas.
Nice. We appreciate everyone joining us.
Thank you very much.
All the guests, Katerina, Miles, Jeff, Robert Hind. Man, Hind, that guy. I got to meet Robert Hind again.
Come to Perth, Oz. Come to Perth.
And we'll go to Helvetica. Shirley Mormon, one of my favorite people. Yes.
She was.
She told you to go back to bed, Oz.
I was going back to bed. I hadn't gone to bed.
Pushing through. All right, seriously, I am wrapping up.
All right.
I'm pressing the button. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Joining us.
Bye.
About how you get hit and get back up. My second attempt.